those who surround you need no funny kind. You can't see what's on my brain, I live inside my mind. Out of space and out of sight, you need me in my line. Need no fakes, don't need no phonies, no, no, no. Need no snakes, no only homies, down for show. On go, 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 get a book and get the front and we load up and roll, roll, roll. I got kids, yeah, I got staff, I make a little need more, more, more. I sell records, you sell packs, not on my level, no, no, no. I'm a pop star, I'm a rock star, I'm a winner. Think I'm not hard, you smoke rock, hard waste, man, why you dumb? I'm with airline, we on airlines like we on the run. I'm with Tay, girls run up on me, they done. Money line, I'ma run it every time. Give me mine, going up, need no decline. Money line, I'ma run it every time. Give me mine, going up, need no decline. Yeah, 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 yeah. Why check cash, yeah, I need my ass. Why check cash, yeah, I need my money line. Why check cash, yeah, I need my money line. Why check cash, yeah, I need my. watch out for those who surround you, need no funny kind. You can't see what's on my brain, I live inside my mind. Out of space and out of...
All right, what is good, guys? Okay, this is officially the first live anything we have ever done on YouTube, and I am lying if I am not saying that I am super nervous. Okay, right now there's around, like, I think around 4 of you right now watching right now. I already posted some links. The links are basically ways to actually join these calls live with me right now and talk to me about whatever you guys actually want to talk to me about live. So that means business, about budgets, about money, whatever you want to talk about, basically just trying to improve your life in some way. And if I can help, I will help, okay? I provided 2 links basically. I'm seeing hellos over here, so shout out to you guys. Hello from Russia. What's good, man? Yo, shout out to you guys, okay? From Russia, all the way from Russia. That's crazy. But yeah, I'm super nervous, okay? However, this video right here, my first live ever, by the way, is going to be basically all about what do you do when you are broke. Oh, what is good, Courtney? What is good, Courtney? So if any of you guys want to join, I provided 2 links. The calendar link is basically to schedule a call with me for right now, and then I'll give you a call once I'm done, for example, talking about what I'm talking about. Or, for example, if you want to join on the Zoom, then feel free to join on the Zoom. You will show your face, so be ready for that. So keep that in mind. And, you know, the first topic here is just basically, what do you do when you're actually broke, you know? And I'm about to reveal some stories that I have never revealed ever on the entire YouTube channel, okay? So when you're broke, and I'm going to tell you about the brokest I have ever been in my entire life, you know? And back then, back in college, I was around 17 years old, I think, when I first got into college. But the one thing, guys, was basically that I looked a lot more richer, or like I had more money than I do right now. You know, right now we're doing grades, blah, blah, blah. We have money. But back then, I had the look of someone that had money, but in reality, I was actually broke, you know? I had all the sneakers, I had all the, you know, all the fancy things to kind of grab your attention, but when you asked me how much money you got in your pocket or your bank account, the answer was 0. So I'll tell you about this first transition of what you do when you're actually broke. I got a whole book here and a bunch of notes because guess what? We're actually just doing everything live. So look forward to this, okay? But the first step is when you're broke, you gotta start realizing things, okay? That's the first step. So you realize that you're broke. A lot of people don't know they got a problem until they do the math, you know? So I'll tell you when I noticed I was broke. You know, at the time, again, I was like 19 years old. So 2 years into college by this point. And I got a girlfriend, all right? And I had these 2 jobs. I was working as a work study, and I was also doing, for example, like vlogging here and there, and also, for example, some side hustles here and there. But the main point was, it got to a point where, as a work study, and by the way, guys, feel free to go ahead and schedule your calls ASAP, and basically, I will give you a call. I'll see the scheduled calls right here on my calendar, and then I'll give you a call directly to your number through Skype, so just put in your information there. However, though, I don't want to get distracted. I had a girlfriend and I had this job as a work study, but I didn't know, for example, a work study, by the way, in America is when you have a college, you work at the college, you get paid some money, it's very flexible, but I didn't know you could actually max out your hours. So I ended up basically maxing out all my hours, and then they basically had to fire me temporarily, and then I was left with around $2,000 in a credit card debt and basically no income whatsoever. And I remember I was like, yo, I got all these sneakers, I got this girlfriend now, and it got to the point where basically I had to, whenever we went out to eat, for example, we had Chipotle all the time, we went to eat ice cream all the time. Most of the time she was paying, and it wasn't because I was trying to be like, oh, modern and all this stuff, but it was because I was broke, you know, and that was a problem. I was like, okay, I got a problem here. And also I had to take the bus every day to school, and that was like around 2 hours back and forth. And also every morning when I woke up to go to school or go to college, I had to ask my mom, hey mom, can I get $10? Okay, it's crazy to think about it, right? But it's true. I had to get like $10 every single day for my mom, and that's when I realized, you know, I got a problem. I look cool, but there's a problem, and there's something I got to do. So then the second step is, once you realize that you actually have a problem, by the way, guys, schedule your calls. And for example, by the way, if you guys feel comfortable, I don't recommend this, but if you want to leave your phone number there, it's fine. I'll give you a call directly. But I recommend, for example, just go schedule the call. It's private that way, or just join the Zoom. The link, the password, everything is there. Feel free to do so. But overall, guys, okay, the second thing was basically I had to take action, right? And I remember I was in this class, and I was so broke not that broke, but I was pretty broke to the point where the professor told me about this book, and the book was called The Millionaire Mind by Edgar T. Hart. Still remember this book to this day. And the book was a great book, but I wasn't going to buy it because your boy was broke. So I had to go on Google and download the PDF, which is basically theft, by the way. So I stole the ebook, and then I started reading that ebook every single day. On the bus for 2 hours, back and forth, I was just reading that ebook, reading it. And I went through a transition, guys. When I started to read and understand I had a problem, well, things got kind of a little lonely. You know why? Because I had to cut out a lot of friends because it just didn't make sense anymore. And also a lot of friends just cut me out because I was just a whole entire different person. And then the third step is once you start acquiring, by the way, all that knowledge, because that's the step right there, you realize you get the knowledge, to actually put something into action. You start to put it into action. Well, the third step is, I got it written here just in case I forgot. But the third step is you make progress, right? And I remember around 12 months later, I had saved up around, I think it was $10,000. And it sounds like a lot, and it is a lot of money, trust me, because I was just saving. I grabbed that money, I invested it into 4 stocks. It was Walmart, Etsy, this weird company, and I think it was a jail corrections company. And I made some money, by the way. I didn't lose any money. But then I took the money out and I spent all of it, every single penny. And I had to restart the whole process over and over and over again. Yo, shout out to everybody here. We got 14 concurrent viewers. That's awesome. Leave a comment down below. Any questions if you guys want to join me on this call. It will be awesome. I appreciate you guys a ton. Let me see if we have any scheduled calls so far to actually make some calls. Again, schedule your calls. Join the whole thing. This is supposed to be like a 2-hour show. However, I don't know how to make this 2 hours long. So if you guys have questions, just feel free to comment down below on the live. On top of that, also join me on the Zoom. I think the Zoom has, if you scroll all the way up, by the way, the Zoom has, let me see. Can I ask through the comments? It's 2 a.m. Yeah. So you can, Petre, you can ask any question through the comments. That's fine. And yeah, and it's fine. Don't worry about it. So if you have a question and you can't call in and you just want to ask, feel free to do so. Now, while I get those calls scheduled, you guys start joining the Zooms and all this stuff, I do want to keep talking about this whole process that I actually went through. Because, the whole thing was, I'll tell you about the lessons that I learned about being broke. And the first lesson is I learned that I don't ever want to be that broke again. To the point where you have no options, but you got to take the bus. Taking the bus is fine, but when you have to, it's a problem. When you're trying to take somebody out to eat, but you don't got the money to, or you're trying to impress them, but you don't have any money and you can't help whatsoever. When you're begging your mom at age 19 for $10 every single day, valuable lesson. But step by step, here's what I learned when it came to being broke, okay? The first thing is you got to make the unknown known. So that means for like around almost a month, I carried around like a little notebook or just like my notes on my iPhone. And the whole idea was I wrote down every time I spent money. And again, I wasn't making any money whatsoever. I was basically broke, but my budget was around like $60 per week, believe it or not. And I wrote down every time. Let me see. Oh my God, I'm your biggest fan. That is Ramspy. He's actually happy when talking to people. So we can finally see this guy smile. I'm always smiling. What are you talking about? Okay, I'm smiling, but I'm sweating bullets in this new studio. Again, any questions, feel free to comment down below, guys. That's what I'm here for. But overall, I remember I was keeping track of every single dollar and what I was spending. And again, my budget was only $60. And one thing I learned was basically, if you can't manage a small amount of money, you won't be able to manage, for example, a large amount of money. And that's why, for example, you have people that they win the lottery. I think my grandma won the lottery once. Not that much money, but basically in a few weeks, the money was gone. My uncle, I had a lot of lessons in life, guys. My uncle actually, he got this big inheritance, okay, which is almost, I think, between 50,000 to 100K. I know it's a huge gap, but I was young, so I don't really know. But it's like 100K. And in less than 3-4 years, that money was gone. And I also had a client that won this lawsuit and got, for example, 40 to 50K. And just for example, in less than a year, all that money was gone. So I knew that basically from the jump, I knew for a fact that, if all I worry about is making more money, but I have the wrong system, it won't make a difference and it won't matter whatsoever. So I need a new system. So that's when I created For example, the simple budget. Remember that, guys? The 6 accounts. And back then, I used to use envelopes. So every time I got paid on Fridays, $60, believe it or not, from one of my clients back then, I would grab that money and I would split it into those 6 accounts. By the way, those 6 accounts are basically emergencies, investments, debt repayment, expenses, also fun, and also charity. Those right there are the 6 accounts. Now, I didn't stay jobless for that long. I actually went ahead and basically I got a job at the Gap. I got some more side hustles. So once the income started going in, I went from $60 to $350 to $400 to $500 every single week. I started using that money to pay off my credit card debt. I learned a valuable lesson there. And then I basically started investing some money, saving for emergencies, making sure my expenses were low. And by the end of the year, I had, for example, 90% less friends. But again, I built it back up to another 10,000, and I had no debt whatsoever. And I was just ready to actually start making some money. Okay, I got some questions here. Let's see what this question is. I'm in my senior year at university. I'm currently broke. Congratulations. A lot of us were. I had an unofficial job, but now I don't have one. And I got 2 plans. I was learning web development, and I didn't finish it yet. So it sounds like to me, by the way, when you're in college, remember, your focus is not on making money. And I had the wrong perspective also. You know, I was all about, I want to make so much money. And a lot of the times you're in a rush to make a bunch of money. And it's not because like you need the money, but it's more because sometimes you just know for a fact you don't want to graduate and do that job. So that's why it's so important that you actually pick a career that you actually like, you know. But your priority in college, Peter, is just, for example, to make sure you graduate fully debt free and just to make enough money to basically pay for all your necessities. But your real investment is going to be, for example, in that degree right there. So let me look at the rest of the question here. If I get a job of web development as a trainee, I'm going to get way less money than if a regular worker. And plus, university is mind work and IT. Okay, so if, for example, let's say, for example, right, this is a very important question, okay? If I can get a job that relates to my major, but it pays me a lot less money, what should I do? All right? So I work this job right here. It's in my major. I get paid less money, but this job right here is a regular job and I can get paid more money. The answer is, again, think investments. Think long term. Every single person here is a part of the long term team, right? And the whole idea is that that job that doesn't pay you that much will give you, for example, the valuable experience that you actually need. So when you actually get the career and that job, you can get paid potentially even more money. But going to a job that pays you more money today won't translate into more money tomorrow because that job would have no relevance and experience when it comes to your real career. So perspective here is, if I'm an accountant, studying to be an accountant, and I can get a job as a bookkeeper and do that while I'm doing the whole accounting thing, I'm going to take that job, or for example, getting more money somewhere else. Because again, the goal is to graduate debt free, but the goal is to also get a bunch of experience. My demo's going good though. Okay, awesome. So yeah, that's basically what I would do. Okay, but I'm gonna get, okay, look at this. So, but you guys gotta get your grammar right, okay? But I'm gonna get, oh, I forgot you're from Russia. Get a real big money in the future, or it can stack money up and go to crypto trading. All right, so here's the thing. Cryptocurrency. Tell me, is this the best idea for my money? You know, the one thing I always say whenever I have an idea is, do I understand this or do I not understand this? You know, I'm a spreadsheet guy, so everything that I basically do is very analytical. So whenever I have a question, I'm grabbing a piece of paper, I'm grabbing a pen, and I'm writing down everything I have to do. Okay, so basically, cryptocurrency, what do I know about it? Is it good? Is it bad? Does it make sense to understand it? If the answer is no, you don't get into it. You know, it's not my game. What I choose to do, for example, when it comes to investing is I choose to play a game I really understand. And I understand, for example, that, let me move this right here, that this guy, where's this guy? Warren Buffett right here in my entire table right here dedicates around 8 hours every single day to learning about stocks and all that stuff. So am I going to do that? If the answer is no, I'm just not going to try to be a stock picker or going to do cryptocurrency. That's why I do index fund investing, because it's more passive income. I invest my money in the long term. I have a lot more money, and then that way it's a lot more passive. That's my overall goal usually. Could you talk a little bit more about what to do after you save money? Should we just do the thing we understand? Okay, we understand the most. Great question. Okay, the thing is, saving money is fairly easy, right? Because all you're doing is just setting money aside. Not really that easy because basically you got to learn how to budget first. But once you have money saved up, the goal is to multiply the money, and the goal is to the route you choose to multiply the money, right? The avenue, whether it's, for example, in the stock market, in the real estate market, in the crypto market, in the forex market, whatever you choose to do, right? That's not my game, by the way. But whatever you choose to do, you gotta fully comprehend those rules in that game. You gotta fully understand that game. So for me, for example, whenever I have every dollar that I have has a job and is fully accounted for. So if I have, for example, 100K on the side, I know, hey, this money right here is for me buying a home. If I have 100K on the side, or $10, $20, doesn't really matter. The figure is just like temporary. But whatever amount of money I have a job for it. But when it comes to my investments, what I'm gonna do, again, I learned first about, before I got into investing, I read the books first. I practiced first in like a fake portfolio. I did everything possible to make sure I did not lose a lot of my money, because that's not what you want to do, especially when you're broke. And the whole goal is that whenever I spend money, Tommy, or I lose money, it's not losing $10 or $20. In reality, it's more like, yo, I just lost like 2 hours or 3 hours of my time. You don't want to do that. You don't want to take that risk. Okay, what is your game? Okay, great question. So my game is fairly simple. And my game wasn't always this game. It's constantly evolving because I'm constantly learning. As a teacher, or for example, as a student of the game, you got to be constantly learning and kind of just like changing up when you got new information, okay? So basically, initially, I'll tell you the full story here because we're live and I can do that now. Initially, my game was stock picking, all right? So I would pick stocks using, for example, the intrinsic value of the company, do all the research possible on it. It would take a few hours here and there. You had a few formulas, but I understood very early on that game was not simple. It took a lot of time. You had to understand fully the company, comprehend everything, and I understood it. It was cool, but I knew I didn't want to spend 8 hours to 6 hours every single day like my mentor Warren Buffett, which is right here in the back, okay? It takes so much time. So then I read another book, and this book was called The Little Book About Common Sense Investing by John C. Bogle. He's no longer here. He passed away, I think, back in 2017, 2019, if I'm not mistaken. But the idea behind that book is it tells you basically about ETFs, about index funds, about a more passive way to basically build up your income and just basically multiply your money over a long period of time. The big difference is, for example, whenever you have like your stock picking, you're putting your eggs into the basket of that company. Whenever you're picking, for example, an index fund, for example, you're putting your eggs into this multitude of different baskets, and that's the whole idea, the whole concept. So you kind of like spread your money around, so you don't have to do anything. Okay, another question here. And by the way, is Forex a scam, or you can potentially withdraw a big money? Stop worrying about all this big money. Worry about consistent money and passive income. That's what you want to do. I remember this quote. The wealth of a man is not determined by the size of his wallet, but by his income. Is the most important thing. The thing with Forex trading is fairly simple. The problem is that the bulk of the people that tell you about Forex trading, what they don't tell you is that basically they don't make the bulk of their money from actually going ahead and doing Forex trading, which is foreign exchange trading, right? You're basically trading currencies here and there. What they make money from is by creating, for example, like this multi-level marketing scheme where they refer people, they make money this way, blah, blah, blah. Or, for example, they go ahead and basically, hey, to get started, you need to buy this course. It's only $200. You buy the course. But again, for them, that's their hustle. So whenever they sell you this course and they have, for example, 100 people, well, 100 times 200, that's like $20,000 if I'm not mistaken, right? So they're constantly making a lot of money. And this is how they do it. They make a lot of money just by selling courses, not by actually doing the whole Forex trading thing. So you want to be very careful. Do you still resell? The answer is no. I rarely resell. These days, when I actually go ahead and resell, a lot of the times when I'm reselling, okay, so how do you resell? I'll tell you the story also. It's a lot of stories here. When I first started reselling, I'm very big on not wasting my money, right? On something I don't understand. So when I first started reselling, I started reselling basically the items I had around my house that I basically did not need. Now back then, I had a lot more items, because I had like over 20 pairs of sneakers. I had a lot of fancy clothes. I had a lot of fancy everything. So I started reselling those. So I learned how to resell sneakers. Then I learned how to resell phones. Then I learned how to resell things from Goodwill. Then I learned about drop shipping. I learned about garage sales. But the answer is, reselling is cool, but you gotta weigh your time, right? If you do it full time, and it's kind of like, it's kind of like the luck of the draw. You might go somewhere, you might find something that's actually very valuable. That's more like treasure hunting. But if you're gonna be reselling back and forth like a full business, it works. But for me, it wasn't really my passion. When I did reselling, it was more just a way to make money while I kind of had YouTube actually working, and then basically having another job and so on and so on and so on. But reselling was just a means to actually just get money and generate income. It still works till this day, and I still do it sometimes to actually just generate me. Like whenever I want a new phone, I'll give you the secret here. I just resell this one, buy another one, resell that one, and then basically usually buy the next phone, the one I actually want, for free. That's really when I do some reselling. Yo, Tommy, what's good? It's Malcolm. If you remember me from the calls, yes, I do remember you, Malcolm. You called me like 3 times. Of course I remember you. Feel free to join the calls right now. I'll see if you have some calls scheduled or not. Feel free to join the Zoom. If you guys, the thing is, I don't know how to pin. Let me see. Can I pin the chats? I don't know how to pin the chats. Yeah, so yeah, pin the message. This message is pinned. And yeah, so if you wanna, I pinned the message for the calendar. If you want to schedule the call there, schedule it there. I also, if you scroll all the way up to the conversation, there's also a Zoom link. So if you want to join me on the Zoom, feel free to do so. And I'll actually join you on here. We can have a full-blown conversation and answer whatever questions you actually have going for you guys, okay? Let me see. I just graduated with a computer science degree and still live with my parents. I would like to house hack as fast as possible instead of renting. Should I focus on saving money? Oh, saving only and not investing. Great question, Dan. You guys need these names, man. First of all, real estate is like this massive thing right now. Everybody is going crazy over it. Everyone wants to be a part of it. People think that renting is a waste of money. Your boy right here, Tommy Bryson, is currently renting in Puerto Rico, although I could go ahead and buy a house for cash, right? The big thing is that buying is not always the best option. Exactly. Okay, let me explain this, okay? The big thing is, especially when you just graduated, how do you know exactly what area that you actually want to live in, right? And renting is not a waste of money. Let me break this down. First of all, there is a rent versus buy calculator online. So check that out first, put in the numbers, and they'll tell you exactly at what point does renting become more expensive than actually buying. That's the first thing. For me, in Puerto Rico, is that around year 3, it becomes too expensive. But again, I'm just here checking things out. I'll buy it probably next year. But again, also, house hacking and also buying a property when maybe you're not ready for it. The first thing is, buying a property is fairly easy. Once you have, for example, like, hey, I have my income check. I have a good credit score, everything's solid. I can put down 3.5% on this property. Closing costs maybe like 3-5%. All right, I'm fine. I can put down $20,000, $30,000. I got the property, boom, set. However, though, if you buy the property the wrong way, meaning it's too expensive for you, and you have other bills like student loan debt, you have this over here, the big problem is that if the roof breaks down, if the AC unit goes down, if you lose your job, you're going to have this massive issue, right? Because real estate is not cheap. Right? And if you're house hacking, imagine house hacking during 2020 and maybe your roommate says, hey, it's a pandemic, I'm not paying you any rent. And then you lose your job. Like, what are you supposed to do? You know what I mean? So it's not like a perfect science. Me personally, my game is this, by the way. I used a 33% rule. And my game is basically, when I get into the whole real estate investment aspect of things, that's going to be after I have like my first personal home and it's fully paid off. The goal is to basically play the game where there's no way for you to actually lose. That's the game that I basically want to play. So that means, hey, if I have, for example, a fully paid off house, if I have, for example, also a lot of money in my investment account, if I have also 6 months worth of emergencies, it's going to take something massive to knock me down. Nearly impossible, because I have the passive income to basically cover all my expenses. I have it paid for home, so I'm saving like around 30% on my entire like cost of living, and I also have emergency funds to take care of me if anything happens. So the answer is, would I buy a home right now? The answer is probably no. I would probably rent for a year or two, figure out everything about real estate, where I actually want to stay, where I want to live, make sure you actually have some income to actually come in, save a lot of money, yes. But my first thing would be basically, I would pay off my debts first, save for emergencies, then start investing, and then start saving up for your home and your down payment and all that stuff. That's what I would do. Sorry for a ton of questions. Nah, that's the whole thing, man. So any questions you guys have, feel free to ask questions. That is what I'm here today for, to answer questions on this show. I'll try to do this, for example, maybe I said date like Monday to Friday. Is it Monday to Friday? Yeah. But maybe I might try to do a little bit more or a little bit less. We'll see. Sorry for the ton of questions, but I have another one. I'm not really good at development right now to get a okay IT job, but I actually know how good job look like in and out. So web drop servicing may be a way to go. Here's what it sounds like to me, man. It sounds like you're just trying to figure things out. So when you're trying to figure things out and you don't know what's basically gonna work for you, it's like throwing spaghetti at a wall and seeing what sticks, right? That's what you're trying to do right now. So what I would do is just try different things out, see what you like, see what you don't like. That's the whole concept. But if you're going to college, you picked a career already, I would try to get something that is relevant to it to actually build up experience. Do you buy in bulk on Alibaba? The answer is no. However, the thing about buying in bulk and that business model, I'm guessing you're talking about I buy in bulk on Alibaba, I receive the merchandise, then I basically sell it, for example, on my own Shopify website or on Amazon or whatever else you want to do, right? It works great, but then if you don't have any sales, you're left with a bunch of inventory and no one to actually buy it from you. So that's why, for example, I love like drop shipping, because in reality, you never have to touch any products. And if it doesn't sell, it doesn't sell, but you don't lose any money. I think buying in bulk is great when you have, for example, already provable interest in whatever you're actually trying to sell. So if I was trying to sell, for example, if I want to buy, for example, 10,000 like face masks or whatever, I would want to know that people are actually interested and are actually going to buy it. If I were going to buy, for example, 10,000, I don't know, like these batteries or whatever, I want to know that somebody out there is actually interested in it. Because if they're not, one, I'm putting up my money up front. Two, there's inventory costs, right? Because maybe you have to store the whole thing. And then three, if you don't sell it, you're going to have a problem, you know? And the big thing is sometimes people basically buy things in bulk and they can't sell it online. So sometimes they got to go out there and basically sell it, okay? They got to go out there and basically sell it door to door. And that's also a pretty good experience. Could you do more making video ideas? You did about 2 years ago. I actually have a video that's going to be coming out, I think on Wednesday, with 19 different business ideas in less than 19 minutes. So that should be pretty cool. I'm using the extreme rebate site you make a video about 2 years ago. Okay. So I've been getting calls about this extreme rebates thing, okay? And this is like I made this video in 2019 about extreme rebates, okay? Now, the game has changed. I'm not vouching for the company in any way. I don't know what they're currently doing or anything whatsoever, you know? I think it's the only time I ever did something like that, okay? And the money they gave me, I kind of like gave it away to you guys and like like little gift cards or whatever. But the whole idea was, okay, let's break this down and tell you exactly what these companies actually do. The whole concept is fairly simple. So how can a company pay me money or give me items for free to buy them on Amazon, right? Why would they actually do that, okay? How does that make sense, like financially? It sounds ridiculous, right? Well, the thing is this. So the way the website basically works is that businesses list their products on this website, like extreme rebates or whatever, allegedly, by the way. I really don't want to get sued. But the whole idea is that they list these products there. And their objective is to kind of get their products to rank higher on Amazon, right? So they do that by basically having, for example, sales and also having reviews. And that's where you come in. Because if you notice, right, even with those websites back then, don't know about now, you had to buy the product with your money. And when you bought it, you received it, you did a review, then they went ahead and basically paid you on PayPal, right? Now, the big thing is this, and keep this in mind, guys. I heard about this a lot. It was a scam. I don't know how the whole thing works. Again, I don't know if there's extreme rebates, but I know some companies are actually doing this. The whole problem was basically They would pay you the money through PayPal. You would be fine. But then a few days later, they would basically they would try to get that money back. Calling PayPal saying, hey, this person didn't do this, blah, 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 blah. And then PayPal would just grab your money back. So now you're stuck with a product you never wanted to buy in the first place. You never got paid for it. And you also wasted your money on it. And it's no longer free. But they already got their review and also it's still registered. So they get all the benefits. So that's the big thing. You want to make sure everything is solid. Just make sure everything's good. Again, I'm not vouching for the company or anything like that. So just make sure things actually make sense for you. Other question here from Porsche. Okay. Tommy, great advice. I would like to do low risk, invest 80% bonds and then 20 stocks and when finance 10 or 12 years. Can you do it in more details in the future about low risk investments for people over 50 with less time to invest? The answer is that is a terrible idea. Here's why. Because 50, 200 years ago was being very old. But 50 today in 2021 is like the new 30 or the new 40. So you're going to be around for a very long time, like another 30 years or 20 years, okay? So you got a long time to go ahead and invest. The problem is, if you go ahead and invest 80% of your money into bonds, let me break this down. Bonds is you basically lending your money and then getting back some interest on it. That's the basic idea there. But the idea is that you're going to get paid very, very little money. I think right now treasury bonds are paying like less, way less than 1%. And then corporate bonds are paying, for example, maybe like 3% a year or whatever. So in reality, you're barely keeping up with inflation. The reason I have bonds in my portfolio is just to kind of like have, imagine kind of like a seesaw, right? You have stocks over here, bonds over here. When the stock market goes down, the bonds stay right up here or sometimes go ahead and go up a little bit. So it kind of brings everything back to balance. That's the only reason why I have bonds. But even in my case, I only have around 20% in bonds, and it's actually very, very moderate. You can actually get away with just, for example, like 10% in bonds, or basically like 0% in bonds. It's just that I like to sleep at night. So I don't recommend you have 80% in bonds unless, for example, you have like $1 million or 2 million or 10 million, because at that point, right, you're talking about a lot more money, because you know that's a lot more money. So getting 3% on that can basically take care of you forever, and you don't want to risk it. But when you're just getting started and you have no money for retirement, you don't want to do that. You want to give your money the opportunity to actually grow. So if you're kind of scared of the market, I would do more, for example, like 80% into stock ETFs or index funds, and then 20% into bond ETFs or index funds. That's what I would do. So currently, till this day, I have some money in the S&P 500. That's the US. I have some into the international market. I have some, for example, in the small cap market. I have some in corporate bonds, also treasury bonds. I have some into real estate and also some into emerging stocks. Okay, that's the whole concept. You want to be diversified across the board. So if things do go wrong at some point, that way you can know, hey, everything is going to be just fine. I don't have to worry about anything. Okay, that's what you're trying to do. Again, guys, the link is there to actually join me live. I'm making these calls right now. So if you guys want to call in right now and talk to me one-on-one, I wish I could share like the phone number that I have, but then it's set up to like just go to voicemail. But yeah, if you guys want me to call you directly, just schedule a call right now, and I'll give you a call directly and talk to you one-on-one and answer questions one-on-one. Or if you want to join me on the Zoom, feel free to do so. Or if you just want to leave a question, and I will see your questions right here. I do bank. Okay, it's still like that. I do bank transfers. One more thing I want to talk about here, okay? Tommy, credit cards. If you guys remember my channel, if you've been here for a while, right? And by the way, guys, let's get the likes up. So everyone that's here, do me a favor, smash the like button. It helps a lot with the algorithm and all that stuff. So, how much people we have watching right now? I don't even know. I think we have 19 people watching right now. We got 10 likes. Let's get 19 likes, okay? Let's get those likes up all the way up. All right, it helps a lot with the engagement. Thank you for the like. I see everything, guys. I appreciate it a ton. Let's talk about debt, all right? Initially on my channel, I had, for example, a bunch of videos on credit cards. Today, my whole output has changed a lot. You know, back then when I was 19 and I had $13,000 in credit card debt, and I was making around 50% to 60% every single year from them in profit. It's a crazy thing, I know. But what I was doing back then was basically, I would grab the credit cards, I would take the money out, use that money to finance myself and basically make more money, right? But it was very, very, very high risk. Today, for the average person, right? I know a lot of people say, Tommy, having a credit card helps me build credits. I do this, do that. But the big problem is that a lot of people just go into crazy debts, and that's not what I want for you. So here's what I would recommend. First of all, let's break this down and just stop the BS, right? You don't need credit to buy a home. You don't need credit to buy a car. How is this true? Because in reality, when you're going to buy a car, pay cash for it, 3,000, 5,000, until you can afford the car you actually want. Okay, so that's out the gate right there. And then when it comes to, for example, buying a home, you can buy a home with manual underwriting. So that means to take a look at what you owe, what you make, your past pay stubs, and from then on, if you have no credit score, they basically build a profile for you. So you don't really need a credit score for anything. However, having a credit score just makes things a lot more easier. So if you want to get an apartment, if you want to buy a home, it is less of a conversation. You can deal with a lot more banks. You just basically have a lot more options. That's the big benefit. So today, the way I use a credit card is basically very simple here. I have 3 credit cards. I have 1 bill on each credit card. I cut the credit card so I don't use them. And basically, the bills I have are like Netflix, my phone bill, just like recurring bills, right? Recurring bills that get charged every single month. And every single month, I set it to auto pay in full. This way, for example, I have a low balance, which helps my credit score. And on top of that, I get payments registered every single month, which basically also helps my credit score. So this way, I maintain a credit score, but I never, ever, 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 ever go back into debt. That's how I do the whole credit thing. If you guys are curious, that's basically how it works. Okay. What were you doing when you were 16 years old? Okay, that's a great question. When I what was I doing? So when I was 16 years old, I was in high school. I was a senior. I was about to graduate, I think. And I was very materialistic. I lived with my grandfather. I didn't really have any businesses whatsoever. What I was doing is basically I was taking my mom's money she used to send me and just buy dumb stuff. Again, I've made a lot of mistakes, guys, okay? It's not like I was born perfect and then boom, here I am teaching you. No. I've been through 99% of all the dumb things that you are probably doing right now. So that's why I can tell you, hey, this doesn't work and then this actually works. But at age 16, my main focus was basically like on girls and clothing, looking cool in school, and basically like having fancy things. That was basically my main focus. It wasn't really about business, and also video games. I love video games back then. I'm trying to start a t-shirt t-shirt drop shipping business. Looking at Amazon merch, still waiting for approval. Once I'm approved, what's a good way to promote? I've tried Facebook, Google, etc. Would be making a flyer be okay? So there's this great book. I don't have this book here, but I got the audiobook. But I recommend you get this book, okay? This is a great book. It's by Pat Flynn. And the whole book is basically about Will It Fly, right? So the author is Pat Flynn. The title is Will It Fly? And this book is all about before you start a business, you want to make sure that it's actually going to be profitable and it actually makes sense. So if I were going to start today a t-shirt business, what do I know? I know that there are a bunch of t-shirts out there. People can buy whatever they want to buy, a lot of cheap prices. So what is actually going to make me special? My story, my branding, and also myself, right? Very important. When you buy a t-shirt, maybe one of my t-shirts or whatever, you're not buying it because it's like the best t-shirt. You're buying it because what it stands for or the community you're trying to be a part of, right? That's what it really means. So my advice would be just advertising wouldn't be enough, but making, for example, a community of people and then basically building up a brand, that's going to be amazing to actually sell something. You know, that's why, for example, you have Kanye West, you have all these people where whatever they create, they just sell because people aren't buying their products. They're actually buying what those products stand for and also just trying to support their artists. So if you can have a story behind these t-shirts that actually makes sense and moves people, then that's what I'll recommend. But you could just advertise if you want to, but then if you advertise, you would have to advertise with people that are interested in your t-shirts. So you might have to make merchandise around specific things, like maybe like Father's Day, Veterans Day, Christmas, whatever it is, to actually have people that are already interested in those things. But that also means, for example, you're going to have a lot more competition. So you could either do it that way or you just build a brand and kind of like explore it that way. That's also a great way to actually do it. So another question over here, high risk, high reward. No, that's not really what you want to do, right? The thing is, right, most of us, if you're below 60, you're young, right? So there is no need for this like high risk, high reward thing, because when when the risk is that high, the the risk is starting over, and when you start over, it sets you back a lot. So it's more like moderate risk, and then for example, good rewards. You want good rewards. You want to make sure money makes an appropriate return on itself. That is what you want. You don't want to be out here every. You know what I don't want? I don't want to wake up every single day thinking that, hey, you know what? Today is the day I lose it all, or today's the day I double my money. It's crazy. It's gambling. That's not what I want for me. Okay, that's not what I want for you guys. So that's basically why I don't advertise that type of like style whatsoever. I plan. Okay, so Dan here. You gotta change your name, bro. You gotta change your name. I plan to retire early, or have the ability to, in 20 years. I may soon make $100,000 in my engineer career. Should I focus on investing in my taxable M1 account since there is no penalties? I'm 23, by the way. Congratulations, okay? First thing is, if I'm 23 years old and I'm getting a degree in engineering, what would be my priority? Same priority as always. First of all, I'm trying to graduate 100% debt free. So if school costs $2,000 a month and I'm making $3,000 a month, I pay school. With the rest of the money, if I want to, I'll put that money into my Roth IRA, right? Into my retirement account. It's going to help me a lot more if you want to, right? But the whole goal is, initially, your priority is becoming an engineer. And your priority is, for example, graduating debt free. But again, if you're going to make $100K per year, I think there was a study. The study was done that said basically the average millionaire has never made over $100,000 per year. So think about that for a second, right? So that $100,000 means a lot. You could probably do the whole financial freedom thing a lot sooner. So here are the steps. So once I graduate, what am I doing to make sure I set myself up for success, right? So again, engineer, 23 years old, making $100K, no student loan debt because basically he paid it off while he was going to school by getting jobs and scholarships and all this stuff. So what do I do now? Well, first I get an apartment for a year or 2 years where I figure things out. While I'm there, I'm keeping my expenses very low and I'm saving all of my money, right? So a part of my money is going towards, for example, my emergency fund to fully book it up, right? Meaning I want to basically have 3 to 6 months in there of emergencies in case anything crazy does happen to you. The second thing is basically, by the way, I'm assuming you have no debt. Second thing is basically you can start investing 10, 20%. The rest of your extra money can go towards house savings. Now, in 2 to 3 years, an engineer, possibly with very low expensive, you could be looking at $100,000 saved up, or maybe like $8,000 saved up, or even potentially even more if you're very frugal. Now with that money, you can go basically ahead and buy a home either for cash, potentially where you live, or put down 50% or a very large down payment. Again, the home you buy, get it on a 15-year mortgage. The goal is to pay this off, not to pay it off in 30 years. It makes no sense. On top of that, make sure it does not exceed 33% of your monthly income. So if you buy this home as an engineer, it costs you a third of your income, and you basically have low expenses. You're able to put basically 20, 30% extra towards this home, pay it off in full. Boom, you're done in like 3-5 years there. Now you're like 30 years old. You have a paid off home. You have a lot of money in your investment account. You have an emergency account. What happens then is basically you are financially free because you have passive income to pay all your expenses. You have no risk of default on your mortgages. Basically, you paid off, the home is yours, and you also get the opportunity to work the job you love to work. At this point, when you're making $100K, but a third of your money is not going towards shelter anymore, you can either invest more money or, for example, just have a lot more fun. That's the idea, whether it's vacation, buying the fancy car you want to buy, whatever you want to buy. So for perspective here, right? I make a good amount of money, obviously, but the whole goal is that I'm not buying the things I want right now. I got the money to buy my home. I'll buy that probably like next year or the year after that. I'll probably pay cash for it if God allows it. I'll pay cash for it. I have my money in my investment account actually growing and growing and growing. Great. And then once I'm basically financially free, the passive income, the paid off home, the emergency account. If I want to buy a Kia Stinger, which is like a $50,000 car, I can if I want to because I have the money, I can afford it, and I handle business first. But you don't have to do this for 20 years, okay? If you do things correctly, starting off, you won't really need 20 years. You can do it a lot sooner. That's the cool thing about the financial freedom steps. Okay, here's another question. Aren't you supposed to invest when you're young? The answer is no. Not the type of investment you're thinking of, okay? There are several types of investments, but your best investments with the highest ROI, which is basically return on investment, is going to be, for example, yourself. So that means, for example, right? Let's be honest here. If I grab, let's just say, $1,000, right? $1,000, I go ahead and I invest that money. I think it's like backwards, so I wouldn't even bother showing that. But $1,000, that makes me 10% a year. Great, right? 10% a year. That's $100 every single year in profit. But the answer is, if I invest 20K in the stock market versus 20K in a career, my career can pay, for example, $40,000, $60,000, $80,000 every single year for another 10, 16, 20 years. The stock market, I don't control it. That's the first thing. It's also a long-term thing. So initially, when you're young, your best investment usually is going to be in yourself. That's why I say you want to graduate fully debt-free. That's the whole goal. So when you're young, focus on basically graduating debt-free, because that's going to be basically your biggest investment. Because if I graduate, I pay $20,000 for my degree, I can earn $40,000. That's 100% return every single year on the money of my initial investment. That's the idea. Rather than, for example, saying, I'm going to put $40,000 in the stock market, I can't control it, and this and that. You know, that's not the thing. That's not what you want to do. That's not what you want to do at all. So that's why I say that. Would I be able to rewatch this after this? The answer is yes. So after the live stream is over, I think you should be able to rewatch. At least that's the goal here. So yeah, you should be able to rewatch. Everything should be good here. Let me check back in the calendar link, see if anybody scheduled a call, just to verify. Again, I have a link there, so if you guys want to schedule a call and talk to me right now as I'm live, let me know in the chat. Let me know if you're actually able to do that, or if you're not able to do it. If it's not clicking through, let me know. I want to know. Or, for example, let me know if you're able to join, for example, the Zoom link, okay? Let me know in the chat down below. We got 18 concurrent viewers and 17 likes. Engagement is on fire. Shout out to the long-term team. You guys know what's up, okay? Are some new thumbnails going to come out soon? You got to talk to Danny. That's my editor. That's the person that does, like, my thumbnails and stuff like that. I like the thumbnails. I never been, like, a thumbnail person. I've been more like a content person. But yeah, we should make new thumbnails pretty soon. Just call Dan. Aren't you supposed to invest? Okay, let me see here. Even when I'm 16, I have no expenses. Okay, so when you're so if you're watching this chat and you're like this live and you're basically like I'm 16 or underage, the answer is, what would I do if I could start things all over again? I was like 16 or whatever. Get a job, bro. Right? Get a job. If you get a job early at age 16 and you try different things out, the goal is to go into a career, whether it's college, a trade job, or a business, whatever it is, knowing exactly what you want to do. I think at age 16, everyone is worried about, like, oh, I got to make fast money. I'm about to be 18. I should be rich by now. You know what I mean? But it's not really like that. It takes time. It takes a lot of time, honestly. So I think it takes the average person to, like, they're 50 years old to become a millionaire, you know? I think it took Warren Buffett until he was 30 years old to become a millionaire, right? So it takes time. It's step by step, okay? Any more questions, guys? Comment down below. If you guys want to join me on the live, comment down below. We are an hour deep into this live stream. I'm very happy so far. Okay, we got another question here. Yo, what are you guys shy to come on live and just like join the calls? Let me know. Join live. Let's talk live. That's why I'm doing this. So I can help you one-on-one directly. Okay, that's the goal here. Okay, so here's a question here. This question is by Corey. Hey, nice to meet you, Corey. How are you? Welcome to the long-term team. And the question is, unemployed, $11,000 in debt, start school next week, single dad, looking for work, but also I'm self-employed, barely make anything, but I want to invest. What do I make? Okay, or what do I do here? Tough question, right? So and again, all my advice comes from me putting myself in your shoes. My goal is never to give you generic advice. Usually it doesn't work, right? Doesn't make sense. So if I am, for example, you, Corey, right? I'm unemployed. I owe $11,000 in debt and I'm about to start school. And I have a business and it doesn't make me any money. The answer is I'm going to get a job. Not one, probably 2 or 3, okay? I'm going to get 2-3 jobs to get me some income, right? And pay this debt off. That's the whole idea. So again, now I get it, right? But Tommy, I really don't want to work for anybody else. I don't like having a boss. I don't want to be told what to do. The answer is everybody has a boss. You know, you might think, Tommy, you don't have a boss. You guys are kind of like the boss here, right? Because if you guys say like, yo, I'm done here, right? Same thing with any business out there. The customers are usually going to be the boss, right? So don't be afraid to basically work for somebody else and earn, for example, a good income. That's the idea. If I can get 2 jobs and bring in, for example, $2,000, $3,000 a month, I'm solid. Go to school, pay for school, graduate debt free, I'm solid. That's what I'm doing right there. So I'll probably drop the business, do it on my free time, but I'm going to get a job right now to tackle this debt and to also help me pay for school. That way, when I graduate, I can fully graduate, for example, debt free. Now, my math when it comes to paying debts is fairly simple. My math is basically I use the avalanche method. What does that mean, Tommy? It means, for example, I'm going to pay the debts with the highest APR first. This saves me more money mathematically. That's the whole idea. So if I have credit card debts, a car note, and the student loan debt, right? So 3 debts right here. Usually the credit card debt is going to be higher. So I'm going to pay that one first using the avalanche method. Every other debt I pay the minimum on, right? The minimum, so I don't get any late payments or anything like that crazy. But I pay the minimum on them. But the rest of the bulk of my money, I'm going to put it towards, for example, the debt with the highest APR. Now, it's very important, Corey, you understand this, okay? If you are in a situation right now and you're in debt, the first step is you want to get a budget, right? Now, a budget. How do I get a budget, Tommy? What do I do? What do I budget for? Well, a budget usually has, for example, 4 walls. Those 4 walls are going to be usually shelter, utilities, groceries, transportation, right? Those are the 4 main important non-negotiable things a lot of times to every budget. Everything else in this budget that you basically have, cut it out because you just don't need it, right? It's just not a part of the need factor. So once you have this budget, grab the bulk of your money. Usually like around like you should have left like 30% of your money left over, or like 10% left over. Save $1,000 first for emergencies, because anything happens, you want to have money there. And then the rest of your money, just put it all towards debt. I'm going to work after school, start next week at Target, and I'm going to apply my taxes to my debt. Awesome, 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 awesome. Yo, Corey, how old are you? I want to know how old are you. But overall, you can work at Target, you can work Uber Eats, you can work at a pizza store. I just want 2 jobs on you, man. I would probably do work study and also Target simultaneously, and also school. But you gotta be ultra focused, man. So this way, in the next 2 years, 4 years, you are fully debt free, nothing to worry about whatsoever. That would be my priority. You know, I'll tell you a story here, Corey. When I was in college, I had my work study job. I was doing daily vlogs back then, and I was also working at the Gap, right? So I had basically like 3 main jobs or whatever. And I also did, for example, like phone flipping every now and then. So I had like 4 little side hustles, okay? But that means, you know, for the bulk of it, you're just basically zone out. You know, you're not going to parties, you're not doing anything, you're just basically focused and locked in. On top of that, cut the credit cards, don't use them anymore. Use the 1 bill method, just put 1 bill on them, forget about them. On top of that, once you have the budget, you have control. The goal is you want to have a good system, okay? Have 1K saved up. I'm 30 saving up for a car. Just broke up during COVID. Left me a single dad, transitioning right now. I feel you, bro. I feel you. Relationships are tough. I understand it. So you're 30 years old, you're a single dad, and you just have $1,000 and you want to save up for a car. The answer is, again, you know, everyone gets the life they're actually handed. You know, there are no choices here. You got what you got. So again, Corey, to stick with you here, if I were you again, right? I have my kid. If my mom can help me with my kid, or anyone can help me with my kid, great. Just to help me out with the time so I can actually get a career. But the answer is, the car I buy is not going to be like this ultra dad minivan that costs like $20,000. Now I'm in debt again. No, I'm gonna buy a beater car and get, for example, like a safety seat for my baby to make sure everything's cool. But I'm not gonna spend more than $2,000 on a car. I would save up for it in cash and pay for it in cash. That way I'm good to go. So now I have this car. I have $1,000 saved up, and now I'm basically able to also start paying off my debts and then graduate fully debt free. One thing is this, Corey. If you're watching this right here, man, when you're picking a career, use the top 10 rule. I say I invented it, but I actually heard it from Warren Buffett in one of his famous stories or whatever. But the whole idea is you write down the top 10 careers that you actually want, do research on them, like how does this job actually work? What's the day to day? How much would I make? How long would it take? Is there growth in this industry? Would I actually like it? What is it like? Contribute on LinkedIn. Do all the research on it. And then you cross off until you're left basically with 3, right? The top 3. Once you're left with the top 3, what you want to do is basically pick the one you like the most and makes you a good amount of money and go into that. But again, going to college is going to be a business decision. It is not a, well, I hope I figured this out. No, because it's going to cost you a bunch of money. So just make sure it actually makes sense for you. Okay. I'm honestly doing better now than ever. Cut off everything, doing a lot research, have no one to watch my son. Yeah, so if you have no one to watch your son, that's interesting, right? So how old is your, oh yeah, the son is a newborn. Potentially apply. Look, man, I know a lot of times us guys, we don't think about this stuff, and it's fair, but apply for those government programs, man. Get those coupons, for food. I think there's a lot of also programs to actually help you with the baby and all of its costs. Daycare potentially also. Apply for all the free government programs out there to help you out while you're going through this transition. If you're having to take care of the baby by yourself, that's a whole different deal. So just make sure you have all the help you can. I know a lot of us guys usually don't apply for government programs, but you got to do what you got to do when you got to do it, okay? So feel free to do so. What car do you drive, Tommy? Let me answer that question. What car do I drive? I actually haven't announced this, right? But I actually drive a Toyota Prius 2014. I bought that car for $9,000 here in Puerto Rico. It's worth around $11,000 to $12,000 a year, so I got a pretty good deal on it. And the answer is it's a great car. I pay cash for it. It's mine. I don't have any payments any month whatsoever. And I plan on driving it for the next 5 years to 10 years. That's the overall goal. I love the car, man. Crazy car though, right? Because it's so fuel saving. So basically, I can put on like a whole tank and it'll last me like the whole month. So $30 worth of gas lasts me like a whole month. It's an amazing car. So I love my car. It's 3 a.m. Probably time to go to sleep. Thank you a lot, Tommy, and have a good dialogue, guys. Yo, shout out to you, man. From Russia. Go to sleep, man. You should not be awake at this time. By the way, I go to sleep at 9 p.m. latest, and I wake up at 5 a.m. every day. Sleep is very important. I'm getting a certificate in graphic design and then pursuing computer science. Be careful with these certificates. People get certificates that make no sense. Just make sure, for example, the certificate that you get, you're actually going to use, and you're going to be able to find a job. The goal is not to get a bunch of certificates left and right and all this stuff. No, the goal is to go directly into what you're going to go into. So if you know you're gonna get a certificate and basically get a job in it, then great. But if you know, for example, you need a certificate and basically not use it and then go towards that, the answer is just don't bother doing it. Just go directly into what you're gonna. And by the way, I think Google has a lot of IT programs that are basically free. Apply for anything possible, man. It's the best thing. This is my 3rd time attempting at school. I'm not quitting this time. I have something to push for. What can I say, man? When it comes, oh, you're on the Zoom. You're on the Zoom. Give me a second. I'm gonna join you in a second here. I see you on the Zoom. One thing is this, right? There's this concept. When I have a baby, I have something to push for, because now I'm not responsible for myself, but also another person. The answer is yes. Use everything you can as fuel, and don't quit. But make sure you're going to something that you actually like. That's the whole idea. Okay, so we got somebody on Zoom. Let me see here. It is Joseph. I'm going to go ahead and admit you. Okay, you are there. Let's see. Yeah, I accepted you. You should be joining in a second. Give it a second. All right, so I see you, Joseph. Can you see me, Joseph? All right, awesome. So give me a second. I'm going to unmute you now. What I want you to do, Joseph, is if you have the live stream, make sure you pause it so it doesn't have like a audio feedback. Let me switch over to you over here. You will be on YouTube, by the way, so make sure you're ready for this. All right, so let's switch over to Joseph. All right, so this right here is Joseph, my boy Joseph right here. How the heck do I unmute you. Okay, more. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I can't hear you, yeah. So I can't hear you. Can you hear me? We build this while we fly, guys. You can't hear me? Hold up. I gotta put my headphones on. I just realized I don't have headphones on. All right, talk now. No, you can't hear me. All right, let me see real quick. Guys, we're building this while we fly. You know what I mean? So let's. I can't. You're on mute, so I can't hear you for sure. I just don't know how to unmute unmute you. Okay, so you gotta. I think Joseph, you gotta go ahead. Type something in the room. Okay, somebody's saying here. Tell him to type something in the Zoom chat. Type something in the Zoom chat. I'm being told. So type something. Let me see. Okay, allow participants upon. Okay, allow participants to unmute. Okay, there you go. Okay, you should be able to unmute yourself. Yes. Okay, unmute yourself. It's his end, right? Yeah. So you wanna unmute yourself, bro. I can't hear him. Can you guys hear him? Yo, comment in the chat if you can hear Joseph or if it's just me. Comment in the chat if you can hear Joseph. Okay. It's not allowing. Oh, it's not allowing you to. It should be allowing you. Mute participants. Okay, there you go. Yes. So there you go. Ask all. We can't hear. Yeah, they can't hear. Can you guys hear me? Yeah, try that. Try that. So guys, we're having technical issues here with the Zoom link. So what I'm gonna tell you to do, Joseph, if you're watching this, I blocked out the Zoom thing, so people can't see you. Just post your phone number and I'll give you a call directly if you want to do that. But yeah, that's what's going on here. But let me know in the chat if you guys can still hear me. Yeah, we can hear you. Okay, great. So it's not me, it's Joseph. So if anybody else wants to join the Zoom room and give it a try, let me know. Let's see if this actually works. Again, guys, this is our first live. We're building this as we're flying. Okay, this is not gonna be perfect whatsoever. But yeah, join the Zoom room, schedule a call. I want to talk to you guys directly, one-on-one. Hear your stories, hear your troubles, hear what's going on. That's what I'm doing this for, to hear what's going on with you guys, to see how I can help. Okay, so feel free to join. Just let me post this Zoom link again here, just so you guys can actually have it. But here is the Zoom link. I'm gonna comment down below. Hold up, give me a second, guys. So here's the Zoom link, and then I'll send you guys the password. I don't know why it has a password. I didn't mean to put a password on it. And then here's the password. Hey Tommy, how's it going, man? Happy to see you live. Hey, how you doing? Thank you for joining us live. Okay, so there is the Zoom link, and also like the password. Feel free to go ahead and join. It's on his end, Tommy. Is all good. Yeah, feel free to join, guys. I just want to talk to you guys directly, get the real stories, see what's going on, and see how I can basically help. So feel free to actually just join in the chat. Okay. All right, guys. So any more questions? Let me know. Comment down below. That's what we're here. That's what we're here to do, guys. I want to say something here too, guys. You know, preparation is super important. So basically, if you're wondering, Tommy, how are you able to come on live? I don't do Zoom, Tommy. I feel like I'm calling in though. Yeah. So just feel to call in. So schedule a call or join the Zoom, and then basically put your phone number in there, and I'll give you a call directly through Skype. So I'll give you a call. Your number is going to remain private, so don't worry about that. So if you want to join me and actually call me directly, feel free to just, for example, join the Zoom room, or just click the pinned link and just schedule a call right now, and I'll give you a call directly and talk to you for the next like 15 minutes or as long as it takes to actually solve the problem. Okay, so feel free to just go ahead and basically go ahead and schedule a call if you want to. All right. So big story, guys, on preparation. Okay, this whole week, I basically been panicking about doing this whole live session with you guys. I'm gonna be honest, okay? I was like panicking. The last 15 minutes, I was just like, do I even go live? Am I even ready? Okay, I see Alex. Alex is up there. So Alex just joined. Yo, can you hear me, Alex? Something is wrong here. Can you hear me, Alex? So I see Alex here. Okay, admit. Okay, so I'm admitting you in. Okay.
With
Yeah, I can hear you now, Joseph. You're on now. You're on now. So let me just cut to you. All right. So guys, we got Alex. So is it Alex? Yeah.
yeah, Joseph is my last name.
All right. So we got Alex Joseph right here. You want to mute the live call so you don't have like a double mute. So you want to close.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, cool.
All right. So
Okay.
let's talk. How can I help? What's going on financially? What's good? How can I help?
So my story is currently I'm a business student, 25 years old, or 25 years young,
Okay.
depending on how you look at it. Um, I live with I'm currently living with my parents. I lost my job due to COVID,
Okay.
and I wanted to. I don't rely on my parents when it comes to like anything. Like I pay rent. I live off my own food and everything. But I'm really running low on money, and I'm taking classes, and so I'm having a hard time balancing school and work, and I
What do you
wanted
do
to
for
do
work?
something. Well, before I was working I did security guarding.
Okay.
I got a security guarding license, and then I was working as a security guard, and then I'm doing like this summer computer programming course
Okay.
on the side. So I wanted to do something like I live in Canada, so I wanted to
Okay.
do something like a skip the dish, or if you guys have that there, or like a Uber Eats
Okay.
or something, but I couldn't. Everyone is doing it, so they like depending on which district of the city you're in, they just don't need people, so they're not taking anybody. So
Okay.
pretty much what I'm asking is like, how can I find a side hustle that I could do that will make me at least a little bit of income that can combined with my savings to like help me get through my school.
All right. So the first thing is this, right? Here's what it sounds like. I'm living on my own. I lost my job because of COVID, and I'm just trying to figure things out while I'm basically trying to upgrade my skills. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's okay. Let me just go ahead and basically like because we're building this as we fly here. So I wanna basically edit this in for everyone so we can basically see it. Just give me a second here on the live.
No problem.
Just to go ahead and add this in. Let me see here. There you go. Okay. Awesome. Looks a lot better like that. Let me just cut that in there. All right. So here's the answer, right? If I were in your situation right now, my priority would 100% be on having control over my money, no matter how little money I have right now or what's going on, right? So that means I'm gonna build a budget. I'm gonna track my expenses. Your core expenses right now are shelter, utilities, groceries, and transportation, correct?
Yeah.
And then you have where does your so you're fully unemployed. You have no income coming in whatsoever.
No.
Okay, so you need a job. So
Yeah.
whether
I,
that's full
I
time
have
or
a
full.
savings account. I'm living off of my savings account, but
How
that's
mu-
it.
how much do you have left?
Probably 1,500.
Yeah, yeah. So you need a job ASAP. Like you're on life alert right now. So what I would do is, look, when I was in high school, I never wanted to work at a fast food place like McDonald's or whatever. But I was a very stupid, naive kid, right? Um, But today, if I'm whatever situation I am, I'm gonna get a job. A job is a job. I do whatever it takes. That's the whole concept. That's the whole idea. So, if you're able to go ahead and get a job anywhere, apply anywhere, just try to get a job. Now, the goal is to get a job just to basically pay for your expenses and then also help you. I think in Canada, like, is school free over there or no?
Absolutely not.
Okay. So,
It's really actually it's going up right now. So
okay. Yeah. So if you can apply, for example, for a minimum of 200 scholarships, that would be great. If you can apply for all the government programs you can, that would also be great. The goal is to dig your heels down, get a job doing whatever it takes just to pay the bills, and then focus on locking in your head to just try to upgrade the skill. Whether it's going to be in computer science and whatever you choose to do. But you're going to be doing this for the next 2, 3, 4 years. That's the whole goal right there. So right now, you're going to stay broke for a while, but you're making a big investment in yourself. Because the investment is, and the bet is that I'm going to be working this job that allows me to go to school at the same time, but I pay all my bills on time, so everything is solid. And then once I graduate in those 2, 4 years, I'm able to just go ahead and basically say, hey, I'm making 40,000, 50,000, $60,000 a year. I can quit that job. And I can basically just have a more relaxed lifestyle. That's the overall goal. Does that make sense?
mhm.
Or if you can just go back into security, is that, I mean, security, but there's the pandemic and then there's restrictions. Is that a problem for you over there?
No, it was more so for me when it came to the security guarding, it was restriction on time. So like there's such a lack of people in the field that they'll just schedule you anywhere. And for the program that I'm taking, I'm not allowed to miss any classes.
Okay.
Um, so I needed something that was more flexible, and it didn't work out. So
Then let me ask you a question. Is there any way you could work, for example, at like a nightclub?
yeah, I could apply for them. Yeah.
Yeah, so try to get something that's more fixed, right? Where you can actually, because I'm guessing what you're describing is more like a 1099 where they call you when there's jobs available and you're like, okay, I'm there. But now that you're trying to like upgrade your skills, you can't do that because your income is just, for example, for right now. It's not your main thing. So the whole goal is, if you can get, for example, a job with security, that would be great. That's more like more predictable. Like I remember I had a friend. He used to work security at H&M, and he knew for a fact he had a job every morning. Right, that was his job. It was like fixed hours. So if you can do that, that would be great. If you can't do that, then I would just get a job with whatever it takes. That's more predictable. Well, you want predictability in your lifestyle right now, especially because you're going to school, and that should be your main priority. You have any debt?
Yeah. Yeah.
How much you got?
Around somewhere around it's not a lot for the amount of school that I've done. I think I have close to 10K.
You have $10,000 in debt.
Mhm.
You have any credit card debt or nothing else?
Just the loans.
Okay. So look, again, my priority is, and by the way, there is also an extreme thing here to do. How much do you pay in rent? Do you have a roommate or you live on your own?
By myself.
Yeah. So one extreme way to do this, my friend Alex, is just say, yo, I'm about to put my head down and really lock in. So that means instead of living on my own, I'll get a roommate or I'll live with somebody else and I'll be renting a room. It's not my own space anymore. I can save a lot more money on rent and my utilities and my groceries, everything possibly, and then just save up all this money. And while I'm going to school, I'm basically paying off this debt. So when I graduate, I can graduate fully debt free. Because the big difference between graduating, for example, with 40K in debt and then having 40K in income to do whatever you actually want to. My point is, whatever sacrifice I'm telling you to make right now, it's not going to be permanent. It's just going to be for right now. And then later on, you're going to thank yourself that you actually made these sacrifices. That's the whole point. Does that make sense?
Hmm. And I was also wondering, like, so, like, say I got like a job at a restaurant or something. Um, if once I'm done, like the summer stuff that I'm doing right now, and I have more of a lax schedule, um, is there any like should I do like online e-commerce or try and make some kind of money, passive money on the side?
Well, the answer is you might be able to, right? I mean, that's what I did when I was in college. So I had a job and I went to college and I kind of like, but you have to have a predictable income. The thing is that I think you're underestimating college, and somebody's trying to join here too. Mute yourself if you're joining in, so you don't disturb Alex here. But the whole thing is basically, if you're gonna be going to school, and it's like computer science, that's not like an easy major. You know that, right?
Yeah.
So
It's actually my minor. And my major is in marketing.
yes, that's trash.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's
not
trash.
that great.
Yeah,
I
but
started I started off in marketing, and then I kind of did a pivot because I realized how much it's not a, a real career. And then so I took a minor in computer science, trying to get everything together.
yeah, so what you want to do is, look, man, you want to go to laborstatistics.gov or whatever information website you have, for example, over in Canada, and just do, for example, simple math. Will this make me money? Again, it is an investment. It's costing you money. It's coming out of your pocket. It's also costing you time. Computer engineering, that's guaranteed to make you money, especially like in the 21st century. Marketing, I can just buy you a book on marketing. You can learn everything I'm gonna teach you in college, right? That's the whole problem. So that I personally would not do it. But again, you want to do your research, right? If you can, maybe you can work for a company, and if you know somebody inside, they can probably get you a job. But it's not what I personally. My whole goal, if I'm going to college, I want to basically, I don't like playing fair, right? I like to cheat a lot. So that means I want to make sure whatever I'm going into, I have the highest odds of succeeding into. Does that make sense? That would be my approach.
Um, can I say one more thing?
Go ahead.
Like, I really wish I had someone, because when I started college, I thought that like if I was passionate enough about it, that I could make it work. I wish I had someone to tell me that, to be more logical about my decision of what I'm applying for college, and like really break it down.
Yeah.
Now I'm 3 years in, so like, I'm almost done, uh, post secondary. So I, even if it's a bad idea, I feel like I'm too deep into it now to kind of pivot.
Yo,
I don't know.
that's like the worst thing I ever heard in my whole life. Look, there's a saying, right? When you're in a hole and you find yourself in a hole, you gotta stop digging, right? So it's not like everything you've done so far is just going to be wasted, right? If you're gonna get like a bachelor's degree, you have one more semester left. Maybe you finish it off and you get the master's in computer science or whatever it is, right? That's possible too, but never be afraid to pivot from something that does not make sense anymore. In this case, if you're able to say, well, how long will it take for you to fully graduate?
Maybe a year, maybe a year and a half.
That's ridiculous. So you got to just weigh the options, right? So if I stop working right now on this thing, and I've had my minor be in computer engineering, if I flip majors, how long will it take me? What credits would transfer over? And that's the overall idea. So if it'll take you 2.5 years, and you feel, imagine for example saying, I don't want to waste the time I spent here, but I know for a fact I'm going to graduate and not get a job in this field. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Exactly. So if you're not going to use it, what's the point? So just make sure if it makes sense, it makes sense. If it don't make sense, it don't make sense. That's the whole idea. So just verify all the data, do the math, do the research. This is your life, your decision, bro. And how old are you, by the way?
I'm 25.
So you're really young, bro. You're good to go. 2 years
You
from
think
now,
so? It's not too late to be pivoting
no,
degrees
bro,
at
it's not.
25.
It's not. It's not. It'll be too late when you're like 80. But you can always pivot, man. I'm telling you. People think like they're super old when they're super young. You can pivot right now. Before you're 30, you have a great career that you ask. And by the way, there's this passion and I have to love my job thing. I like YouTube. Do I love every aspect of it? No, I don't. Right? I don't love every aspect of YouTube. But the whole goal is that it has to make financially sense. You have to like it. You have to be good at it. Those are the three factors. You have to like it. If you don't, you'll be miserable. If you're not good at it, you'll just be mediocre. And if basically it doesn't make you money, it's a hobby, right? So that's the whole goal. So you want to look for those three combinations. That's the whole idea. Don't overthink it. You won't love every aspect of your job. That's just a myth. But just make sure you like it. You don't want to be super unhappy. Just make sure you like it though. Do you like computer science?
I like programming. Yeah.
I hate it. You see, we're different. But if you know what you like, again, right? Because we're different people. If you know what you like, you go into it. That's the whole concept. So if you know what it is, you know what it is. There's no need to keep, because every a year and a half from now you're 26 and a half, right? That could be a whole year and a half of you getting deeper into this new skill is gonna make you even more money, and you actually enjoy it. It's wasted time. If you only had 2 years to live, would that be a good decision? Just because it's a year and a half and you're almost done? No, but you have this idea of I'm so old, but I'm making these long-term decisions, right? It's weird. It's a real it's a weird thing, but that's the idea. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it makes sense.
That's the idea, brother. Well, all right. So that's our conversation there. Thank you for joining, brother. You can stay on if you want to. I'm gonna switch over here and see what's popping on this side. I still
All
gotta
right,
learn
no
how to work
problem.
this thing. All right, cool.
Uh,
All right, so okay, so let's go back to the stream and see what's going on over here. Cut over. All right, guys. So what is good? What is good? What is good? Great conversation here with Alex. If you guys want to join me, come on and join on the whole what's it called? What do you call this stuff? On the Zoom, okay? I'll post the link again if we have new people that are just connecting. Here is the link. It has a password. I don't know why, but I'll post the password just so you guys can actually have it and basically join if you actually want to. If you just join in, let's keep that engagement up. Go ahead and smash the like button. It helps a lot with the algorithm. Let's get it popping. You guys know the vibes already. Okay, so what are the questions we got here? Okay, using the volume mixer on Windows, would it be possible to turn Alex down? Okay, could you turn? It's too late now to turn Alex down. We already had the whole conversation. FYI, your mic is too high. It sounds muffled. Does my mic still sound low? Let me know in the chat. Yo, chat. Does my mic sound low? Let me know. All right. Whoa, whoa, scare the crap out of me. Really loud, really loud. Can we hear about your problems? What if we don't have a problem? If you don't have a problem and you want to call in to just like have a conversation, um, the thing is, every person is defined by the size of the problems that they're able to solve, right? You get paid money based on that. So if you don't think you have a problem, I could probably find a problem for you. I'm really good at problem solving. Yes, it's low. My mic is low. It's clear but low. Okay, let me see something real quick. All right, chat. So can you guys hear me better now? Let me know if you guys can hear me better now. Is it higher? Yes, it's low. Is it higher now? Is it good now? Yo, Jesse Hernandez, shout out to you. Milton Centino, shout out to you guys. Is it higher now? Let me know if it's higher. Chat. Let me know if it's higher. If the mic is higher, let me know if it's higher, just so I can verify it. I think it's because it's coming from the aux, maybe potentially. Kind of the same thing. All right. So we build it while we fly. We had some mistakes today. That is fine though. I'm gonna be taking some last Zoom calls and also some scheduled calls. If you guys want to join in, feel free to do so. Let me know. Okay. So if you want to join in, like come into the Zoom, or come into yeah. We build it while we fly, brother. We build it while we fly. Can't get everything perfect the first time. So yeah, come into the Zoom or schedule a call with the pinned comment, and I'll give you guys a call. Or for example, leave your final thoughts, for example, in the chat. So if you guys have any questions in the chat, comment down in the chat, and I'll be responding. So let me know. Let me know what's up. Okay, could we hear about your problems? Okay, tell me, what about your problems? You like talking about everybody else's problems. Um, my biggest problem right now is probably impatience. It's it's for example seeing everything come into fruition, seeing for example results, and like kind of wanting to like just do things out of order. So a big thing for me is always like I gotta use this money. So I have cash and I gotta use it, and I want to buy a home, but I know for a fact I'm just not ready right now to buy the home because I don't know the area that well. So it's about patience. My problem is patience. So I suffer from that a lot. You're Puerto Rican, right? No, I'm not Puerto Rican. I'm Dominican. I just happen to live in Puerto Rico, but I am not Puerto Rican, no. But I'm Puerto Rico now. So I came here. I'm gonna stay here for the next 5 years, potentially even longer, maybe forever. I don't even know. But I'm gonna stay here for a while, minimum of like 5 years to get like fully financially free. I might buy a home here probably next year. I'll probably be paying cash for it. That's the idea. But it's just about patience, like letting things actually come into play step by step. That's one big thing for me. Any more questions, guys, or are we done for today? Let me know. All right, I think we're done with the show for today. Guys, I want to say thank you for coming on and joining me here. Thank you for being a part of a long-term team. I appreciate you guys a ton. This is our first live call. We'll probably do these, for example, from Monday to Friday, potentially 4 p.m. Eastern to 6 p.m. Eastern. So if you guys want to join me for next time, subscribe, like, do all the stuff. My Spanish is great, by the way. ¿Cómo estás? Me gusta la biblioteca. It's a joke from Kevin Hart. But yeah, guys, overall, I had a lot of fun here. Thank you for being a part of the team. I appreciate you guys a ton. Thanks for watching. As always, like the stream. I appreciate it a ton if you guys want to support it. On top of also subscribe if you guys just found this stream. If you guys want to watch more content, a ton of content on this channel and all the channels. I'll see you guys next time. Welcome to the long-term team. Be patient. All right, guys. Peace out.